In section 1 of chapter 14, I'm going to be combining 14.1 and 14.2 because they have a lot of similarities between them. So in this section, we're going to be talking about habitat and niches. So a habitat is all the aspects of an area in which an organism lives. So this includes things like the biotic factors, so all the living things there, and the abiotic factors, all the non-living things in that area. So an ecological niche, it includes all of the factors that a species needs to survive, stay healthy, and reproduce. So you can sort of think of a niche as like the job of that organism. So where does it live? What does it need to keep going? What food does it consume? Things like that are going to be the niche, whereas the habitat is going to be the whole area and that includes the biotic and abiotic things. So again, like I said, food would be an example, and the abiotic conditions that it needs, and various behaviors would fall under that niche category. So sometimes species can share habitats and resources with one another. When they do, competition is going to occur between species that use resources in the same way. So you might have a whole bunch of animals that need a water supply, or they're all going to be feeding on the same type of grass or the same type of prey, and they might be competing with each other then to get what they need. And when that happens, we have what's called the competitive exclusion principle, and that's going to keep two species from occupying the same niche. So competitive exclusion has different outcomes. One species is usually going to be better suited to the niche than the other, and the other will be pushed out or become extinct. So it'll either move on or die. So that's the usual outcome of competitive exclusion. Other times you could have the niche maybe get divided. So you could end up with different layers in the tree, like these birds are going to only feed in this area of the tree. Uh, these birds are going to feed in the layer below that, and so on as you go down. Or and then something that can happen is the two species, if this keeps happening, will further diverge and become more and more different from one another. So when we talk about the habitat niche again, another thing that can happen is what's known as ecological equivalence. There are going to be species that occupy similar niches but live in different geographical regions. So they're going to have the same sort of job as one another, but they live far away from one another. So here's an example of two different frogs that one lives in Madagascar, one lives in the rainforest in South America. And you can see that they are pretty similar to one another. In section 2, we're going to be looking at how organisms interact as individuals and as populations. So competition occurs when two organisms fight for the same limited resource. So it'd be like if I ended up putting a chocolate chip cookie on my desk in my classroom and said, I've only got one, and whoever gets it, gets it. There'd be people pushing others out of the way and things like that, and that would be competition, to be the first one there to get it. There is different types of competition. You have intraspecific competition and interspecific competition. So intraspecific is going to be between the like within the same species. Interspecific is going to be going different species competing with one another. So predation occurs when one organism captures and eats another organism. So that's a key thing of what ends up happening. We're going to be playing a game outside looking at predation. And there's a nice little happy picture there for you of a snake eating a mouse, which is an example of predation. Another way that organisms interact with one another is through what's known as a symbiotic relationship. And there's three types of symbiotic relationships. You have mutualism. Mutualism, both organisms are going to benefit from the relationship. An example of this would be like a bee and a flower. The bee is going to help pollinate the flower, and the bee is going to end up getting nectar from the flower. So that's a mutualistic relationship. And in this example here, it's showing a bat doing the same thing. Commensalism. This is where one organism benefits and the other is unharmed. So a good example of this would be a barnacle on a whale. It's not causing the whale any harm. It's the whale's getting nothing from that barnacle. But a barnacle is a filter feeder, and so as the whale swims around, it's being able to filter lots of water and get lots of food because of it. And the final one is parasitism. And this is going to be where one organism benefits and the other is harmed. There are lots of parasitic relationships. Most of the time, the parasite does not want to harm the host to the point where the host is going to die because then they would have to find a new host to live off of. So examples of parasites could have a leech, mosquitoes, things like that are going to be considered parasites. And then here's one that you may have seen in a garden. I've had this happen on tomato plants. You've got right here, it's showing the hornworm caterpillar uh, is going to eventually die because its organs are consumed by wasp larvae. So that's what's all on that 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 caterpillar there. So parasitisms, they're going to meet their needs as ectoparasites such as leeches and endoparasites. You can have different types of these parasites. And so there's leeches, and then the other picture is the hookworm that you would find inside an individual. Okay, so like I said, we will be playing a couple games outside where you'll be able to see different interactions between how and what organisms do when they interact with one another. So that's the end of the notes for section 1 and 2.